Hi, Bettina.
You, it's so good to be with you every time. I just love to have our conversation before we decided to record this, and I'm really interested to find out what we're coming up now.
Well, we've had an interesting conversation.
Mm.
High and low,
Mm.
world, the creation of the planet, weather patterns, spirituality, psychology.
Mm.
Uh, that little idea of the shifting the paradigm, the jumping out of the system, which
Yeah,
you liked. Could you articulate that? Might be helpful for people.
I really liked. There were several things that are highlights in our conversations, and for some reason, when you mentioned that stepping out of your system, going into the observer is a typical coaching technique to um, to show people who are in a drama or in a entanglement or some kind of a thing how quickly you can shift from one awareness to another awareness in a laboratory. And I saw that when you said that you called it the 5 degrees, and I called it the 5 degrees to freedom, or maybe you said it this way, and I thought, wow, this is key, really key for each one of us to understand. There are these people who say all of this is illusion and so on. And it took me years to understand what it really meant. And what it means is each one of us sees the world in her own way. And hence, there is no such a thing like an objective perspective of the world. It's if maybe intersubjective. And at the same time, as it is subjective or intersubjective, we can shift from this perspective to that perspective in a fraction of a time when and if we allow it, which for me is the biggest step into freedom and disattachment from entanglements, stories, dramas, what do you call that? Conceptions of life.
Mhm.
I
Exactly.
really thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, one of the terms that is popular these days is pivot. The last few years, people have been using that word a lot. Pivot, deep
Okay.
dive, pivot. Um, talk of the town, but it's that ability, as you say, to yoink ourselves, to withdraw
Mhm.
rapidly, just with a thought and a decision,
Yep.
to
Yep.
change our location, but mentally and perceptually regarding a system that we're involved with. And you and I are both Hakomi
Mhm.
graduates, and Hakomi is the somatic, body-centered, mindfulness-based form of self-inquiry or psychotherapy or coaching. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, we get entangled in the systems, and we don't see the system because we're in it. Can't see the forest for the trees, that old expression. So it's just catching on that I think I'm involved with something that doesn't feel quite right. I don't feel comfortable, or I'm confused or anxious. And so then we say, aha, I'm going to jump out of the system, JOOTS, jutes, jump out of the system and just look at it from the outside, objectively, as you say, just to give a break to the subjective experiencing ego
Mhm.
and perhaps get some fresh light. And it could be 1 degree or 5 degrees, even better, around that circle. And Uspensky, the student of Gurdjieff, said to students, if you to develop this awareness, this ability to see things from a different perspective, if you always go out of your house and down the same side of the street on the way to the subway every day, try going down the other side of the street.
Mhm.
And then just be aware, be mindful of how it's different. How do the buildings look, and the angle, the slant of the sun? Which plants are you seeing now that you didn't see yesterday? So it helps to open ourselves to the
Stepping out of the comfort zone.
Yes, life begins at the edge of the comfort zone, and there's
Yes.
a vastness of information that's available to us, both from within our conscious mind, but even more so from the unconscious.
Mm.
And in our work, in our dialogues, if we can access some of that information that's still sort of tucked away, that we're not too sure about, maybe we don't even trust, but a little scared, the thing that came out of the swamp, that old movie from the 1950s. But Ron Kurtz, who is the founder of Hakomi, said that, what psychotherapy really consists of is making unconscious material conscious.
And that's true in our work, the expansive mind.
Yeah.
When we are widening the perspectives, when we are going in this integral field, others call it the morphic field of possibilities and connection to other aspects of how we see. So it's basically like I have black glasses, and then I take pink glasses, and then I don't have any glasses. But if I don't allow myself to have these different glasses, I will just see it that one way. And
Yes.
having these tools
Yes.
is so exciting. I mean, we know the techniques of walking in somebody's moccasins in coaching and facilitating.
Mhm.
Fabulous. I step in, I pretend as if I am you, and for 10 minutes I walk, most probably the best thing is in nature, and feel you. How exciting is that? How
Well,
connecting is that?
these are all skills, you
Yeah.
might say, professional, but even more important, personal skills that we can learn and employ in this journey that you and I are involved in, which is hosting some webinars and training, upcoming training on death, dying, and fearless aging.
Yeah.
Uh, for example, to be able to empathize deeply with others and to walk in their shoes, their moccasins, to have compassion for ourselves in this last stage of life, and to prepare for the great, beautiful adventure of death, the transition to another plane of consciousness, if you will. And also, I find personally that, cramming for the finals kind of thing, there's less time every day, a little bit less time between now and my demise. So, and less energy. I'm getting tired. I'm getting old, losing the memory a little bit. Um, so, what's really important to take with me, and what can I let go of? So
And
that
maybe
person,
it is not such a beautiful journey at the end. We don't know.
no,
But when we and this is what we are exploring, and I'm so much looking forward to this next year, half year, once a month exploration webinars, when we learn to really be in this mindfulness, in this position of the observer of our own lives, and don't identify too much with what's going on. I can imagine this is terribly difficult. I mean, I'm not in that state. I'm not in it, although we all in the state of dying every moment, but it is an interesting exploration with all the years and years of experience we have. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much, you, for doing that with me.
me too. Well, thanks so much for meeting with me today, Bettina. And we'll say goodbye for now.
Mhm.
And hello to all those people out there in Videoland.